Choosing the right holster is a very personal decision. There are so many different type holsters, so many different companies making holsters. Different materials, leather, Kydex, nylon, you name it. I mean, there's a lot of different things out there. Different ways to carry it, inside the waistband, outside the waistband. Personally, I've gone from appendix carry to outside the waistband to, a lot of different choices. Shoulder rigs, ankle holsters. And so today we're going to take a look at an option, and this is the VersaCarry. These are more of a universal type holster that combine leather with a Kydex or polymer, injected polymer inside the leather, which gives it a lot of rigidity. Plus, these holsters are very budget friendly, which also makes it nice, because if you're like me, I have a big box full of different holsters. But we're also going to take a look at their Comfort Flex Custom, which has a Kydex shell or a polymer injected molded shell that fits specific guns. And they have a lot of others. Today we're going to take a look at 3 different inside the waistband, more appendix carry style holsters. Now, these VersaCarry holsters were sent to me by Getzone.com, one of the best Second Amendment video platforms out there. And we really appreciate Getzone for putting this together, and for VersaCarry for sending these holsters. VersaCarry is out of Bryan, Texas. All these holsters are made in the USA. They have a lifetime warranty. But one of the things about VersaCarry is that they're pretty versatile. They have some holsters that fit specific models, but most of their holsters actually are sized 4 different sizes. Size number 1 is for compacts or full-size pistols. Size number 2 is for 1911s. We have the size 3 here. These are for the subcompacts or the micro 9s. And then they have the size for the P365 because it's just a little bit different. But there's a number of features that flow through all of them, but we're going to show you the 3 different ones that we have here. They also carry belts as well. Now, the first one I want to show is the Compound Essentials. This has a Springfield Armory Hellcat. Go ahead and make sure that the gun is unloaded. These have all been safety checked before I got things started. This is Water Buffalo Hide, and it's a distressed brown color. It's absolutely beautiful. And this is an inside the waistband holster. You have your clip here. This is great for appendix carry. It does have the black leather on the interior. Now, on this area right here, you'll see these little cutouts. And this is polymer that's been molded in between 2 pieces of leather. And so one of the things about leather is that it can collapse, especially if you're drawing your firearm and you want to reholster. With this backing, it actually reinforces the shape, and that way you can re-enter your holster very easily with your firearm. And again, draw it. Now, there are some things we'll talk about a little bit toward the end about how to break in your holster, and that's part of the process, especially with holsters like this. Anything that's leather definitely needs to be broken in. Here we have the clip. It's metal, and it goes easy on, easy off. We have a retention screw right here, so you can set the retention to your firearm. It's open end at the bottom, and you can see the really thick leather. This has industrial bonded nylon stitching, so it's going to really hold up well, especially for the leather. And the back on the Compound Essential is just leather. And there are a number of different ones we're going to look at here that are different. And then, of course, VersaCarry.com, USA made. All of these are optics ready. And you'll notice this G4X by Taurus with the Holosun. I mean, it's going to give you that cut, and all of these holsters have that cut. So whether you have the optic or not, you're going to be able to fit it into your holster. The difference with this one, it's very similar to the Compound, but you have thinner lines here with your Kydex underneath or your polymer. And again, it is double stitched. One thing I didn't mention is these have a cant to them, so you're able to draw a little easier. And of course, it also has the retention screw. But one thing that's different is this closed foam padding material. Now, this is going to give you a lot of comfort, but it's also going to be a barrier to keep perspiration down. It's one of the things about having leather directly onto your skin. It can definitely get wet, and so this just makes this a barrier. But it's very soft, very easy to wear. And it has those little lines through it to keep air flowing somewhat through it. And of course, the stitching goes all the way through, and it has this backing. But this is a little bit more of an upgrade just because you're going away from just your standard leather against your skin to this comfort material. When you first get it, I mean, it's going to be a really snug fit, but it doesn't take long, and again, we'll look at that on how to break this in. The last holster is the Comfort Flex Custom. Now this also has the Water Buffalo leather backing, has this custom molded polymer front. And this is going to fit your gun specifically. One of the things about these particular is that you can place different type firearms in it. And again, this is the size 3. Most of your subcompacts will fit into these with no problem, except for the P365. But this is designed specifically for your Glock 43. It just gives you that really solid lock system. Of course, it is retention, and also you do have your easy on, easy off pocket clip that is metal. The holster itself, again, has that Comfort Flex material on the back, and this again is going to just keep you very comfortable all day. But the thing is, you can take this Glock and we can pull out this Springfield, and then we can place the Glock right here. And so again, it's a very versatile type holster system. Now, one of the things about changing different models in and out, once you get these broken in, they kind of mold to the holster shape. So one thing that's going to happen if you're changing that around is you could cause some loosening to where some pistols fit better than others. And as long as they have good retention, you're fine. But if it gets a little bit loose, that's one thing to be careful of. All their belt clips are made to fit a 1.5 inch belt width. And they also offer belts. So that just is the most common size, and this fits this very well. To be honest with you, I have a 2-inch belt, one of the bull leather belts, and this fits it just nicely. We appreciate Fiocchi USA for sponsoring our ammunition. You can get this at ammunitiondepot.com, where ammo is always in stock and ready to ship. The holsters insert very easily with this clip. Just lift it up, put it under your belt, and here you go, you're all set. And this is for appendix carry. Now, we started out with the Compound Essentials. This is a very minimal holster. I like the backing on it. I like the leather. It's not going to give you that protection, especially if you have perspire and this leather rides against you, all day long. And that's one of the disadvantages of the Essential Compound. But it holds out very well. It's really easy to reholster. To be honest with you, I've worked these holsters in, but if I was going to carry this holster, I would really work this in really well before I was going to carry it. But even then, it came out really quick. It was really easy. I like how close it rides to the body, and that's the big advantage. With the Kydex or the Polymer insert, it definitely gives it some shape, so it's easier to insert, and that's the big thing with leather. So this is a big plus over leather just because you have that insert and you don't have all that reinforced backing that you have typically with leather that's needed. Now with the Comfort Flex Deluxe, obviously we have the same thing we have with the Essential Compound, but we have this material on the back, and that's going to really add comfort. It does add a little bit of bulk, but it also protects you and protects your clothes. It feels good next to your skin, and it's going to protect from perspiration. And especially with hot summer months coming up, that's going to be a big plus. Maybe not so much in the wintertime, but it was, again, real easy to draw in and out. These holsters, again, have not been broken in that well, but yet they're very smooth, and the more you use them, the more they'll fit to the holster. And then, of course, with the optics, you know, it was great. I mean, it fits in there nice, and of course you can draw it just like you would. But overall, I really like this holster, mainly for more of your summertime, because, you know, perspiration can come up and it can actually affect your firearm as well as just being comfortable. And with the Comfort Flex Custom, you know, you have that exact shape. There's no break-in period. It just goes in, you have good retention. It locks to the firearm. With this G43X, you know, we didn't have any trouble, of course, but it also has the Comfort Flex at the back, and so that's going to give you some protection. We'll add just a little bit of bulk. But overall, especially for appendix carry, it can be very uncomfortable. And so this really just kind of gives you that soft padding that's going to help. And again, it'll protect your firearm and yourself. Now with the Comfort Flex Custom, you don't really have a break-in period. I mean, it goes straight into the Kydex or the Polymer, molded polymer. And so this just works really well. It fits, it retains. Again, you can adjust your retention screw. So this is the easiest to be able to fit to your gun, but it is specific to just the gun that you're buying for this holster. Now when it comes to the Compound Essentials and the Comfort Flex Deluxe and other ones that are actually water buffalo leather that's all the way through, one of the things they recommend first is when you put it in all the way into the holster, and then make sure that your trigger guard is covered. You want it covered as much as possible. And then take the gun and just start twisting it. Twist it into the leather, and what that's going to do is going to shape the leather, and it's going to just mold to the firearm itself. And so once you get this molded in, drawing it, pulling it out, I mean, you can tell immediately that it's starting to adhere to the holster. But again, the one thing is, if you switch these out, you know, there's a different shape when it comes to other different pistols. Most of them are actually a pretty basic shape. You know, the slide width, the trigger guard, I mean, there's certain things about it. But if you get some that may be a little bit larger than others or smaller than others, that could be a possibility. But I really think that, honestly, most of these, like these two with the G4X and the Hellcat, they're so similar that it's not going to really make a big difference. But you need to watch that in case you are switching out different firearms. And guys, when it comes to fit, there's nothing better than taking one of these Ziploc bags and dropping your gun in there, and then just entering it into the holster. And this is a trick that I've learned in the past about these leather holsters, and leaving it overnight and just letting it sit. And then it seems to mold to the holster. And so, and you can see, even with that plastic bag, it doesn't give you a lot of depth or a lot of difference, but it gives you enough to where it's going to make it easier just to slide in and out. And to me, it doesn't take away from the shape of the holsters as well. I mean, it fits to the gun very closely. Also, when it comes to leather, it's really nice to treat it and keep it supple and clean. You know, leather can dry out, and so it's really nice to be able to put some conditioning on here, and it'll make it a little more supple, and it'll shape easier to your firearm. According to VersaCarry, if you have suppressor height sights on your firearm, it's not going to work with their holsters. So that is one thing to consider. Now, there are models that accept lights, and you'll need to check that out. There is a sizing guide, and when you bring down the menu for size 1, 2, and 3, it'll have those specific guns that fit in that category. So it's really easy to choose the right holster. Of course, you know, just deciding if you want this material, this cushion material on the back, or if you want just the leather, and, you know, the different options, or you want it just like this with the custom molded. You know, again, there are a number of different pancake styles. There's even shoulder rigs. I mean, you name it, VersaCarry has it. And honestly, I'm glad they didn't send them all, because this is a great representation. And the prices on these holsters are very reasonable. With the Comfort Flex Custom, these run $59.99. With the Compound Essential, it's $49.99. And then with the Comfort Flex Deluxe, it's $44.99. Some of these holsters can run up into the $100, $150. And so it's nice to see, even with this natural, very comfortable water buffalo and the retention of the polymer, just a great price to me for that. And these are all made in the USA in Bryan, Texas, and they have a lifetime warranty. And guys, we really appreciate Fiocchi Ammunition for sponsoring our ammo. Also, you can get this at ammunitiondepot.com, where ammo is always in stock and ready to ship. So guys, there's a lot of holster options out there, and to me, this is a great budget-friendly holster with leather and Kydex incorporated into one, and you really get the benefits of both. And so check out VersaCarry. They're a great holster company. I mean, they're making some really cool water buffalo and polymer inserts, and again, a lot of different options as well. And again, we appreciate Getzone.com for putting all this together, and to VersaCarry for sending these for this review. Be strong, be of good courage. God bless America. Long live the Republic. With the Custom Flex with the Comfort Fit and this is a bull leather water buffalo. It's a water buffalo. That's not it. Where's my papers? Where are my papers? I gotta have my papers. I don't have my notes out here. My brain's not big enough to do all this. Probably the biggest problem is that, oh, come on, pecker. Look at that pecker out there. I mean, woodpecker, excuse me.